do it.
Let's do it. Hello, guys. What's going on? Welcome to Cap Raise, a Last Clouded podcast. My name is DK, and today I am joined by that Zero. Unfortunately, Jawline was not able to make the podcast today, so it will just be me and Zero rocking it. I was fortunate to get the unit, and unfortunately, Zero was not lucky this round. But I think you are doing a poll during the podcast, possibly. He's debating it still.
Yeah, I don't quite have enough for it,
Oh,
so I don't
okay.
think we're gonna be able to have one on the podcast. I'm a few hundred short, but I'm
Oh
debating it
no,
too.
unfortunate. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, we do have a lot of content to talk about today. We have a new unit along with the new arc, and we also have an LC pass along with other things to talk about. So we'll go ahead and dive into the character real quick. So we do have the newest. What did I just click on the actual events like an idiot? Uh,
You want to share your screen too?
oh yeah. Let me share my screen with you real quick. Give me 1 second.
Hashtag totally professional.
Professional. Oh my gosh, your
He knows what he's
screen,
doing.
your camera's going all wacky, man.
Is it? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it looks like an old school like TV or something. A busted old school TV.
Does it still look bad?
Oh
Looks
yeah,
fine on
man. What's
mine.
going on? Yeah, as soon as the podcast started, it went to there we go. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do have the newest shift Lagrabos. We're gonna go ahead and kind of pull up his stuff real quick. Gotcha. So he is going to be non-attribute rainbow mage. Yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the summary. He is a spirit type. He does have some pretty decent. Actually, no, HP is 4713 for his HP. MP at 44, SCR at 1263, defense at 954, INT at 1608, which I do really like his INT. It's a very, very high number. MND at 1221. Of course, this one is going to be completely stacked at a 110 max. As you can see here, attribute resistances, he's neutral to fire, ice, earth, thunder, and does have a resistance to light, but -10 to dark. He does come with some nice attribute resistances. We got poison resistance, neutral to blind, resistant to silence, resistant to curse, neutral to stun, and neutral to illness. Going over, I mean, just kind of summary of how I'm liking the character. The character is really good. Like I stated in the previous video before, before his launch, I did state that a lot of people had Maja to go ahead and take a chill pill because the anniversary is just around the corner. We don't know what's going to be happening. But I mean, of course, people are going to make their own decisions on this unit. I do really like him, of course, with a couple little problems that little gimmicks that I didn't like too much, but it wasn't like enough to say like the character was bad in any way. He's amazing. Like the kit on him is fantastic. I really just it's the first time I've had a mage where I felt like I didn't really have to do a lot to make it. And because Lineage kind of ruined it for me a little bit because I feel like Lineage needed so much to make him kind of work a little bit. And with him, he doesn't really need much. I also do like his abilities too. A lot of it's long range. Like for Vega, it's a medium area long range combo attack. This is great for starting off one of his traits, which we'll get to here shortly. Skill 2 is a medium area long range combo attack, but it does close the gap, so it will force him into battle. So depending on how you built him, convergence will kick in if you do take a lot of damage, because his defense isn't very high. But it still is very flashy, very similar to his skills from his previous form on his on their OG Lagrabos. So really cool that they brought that into there. Skill 3 is very nice. I love the S3. So good long range combo attack to all enemies. It's map wide. It's actually pretty flashy too. I really like it. It's got its own little animation going with it. Very bright, very cool. Now there is a lot of controversy that this guy is ripped straight out of the Star Wars saga with his yellow lightsaber, but we have yeah, it is the Perseus. I mean, powerful combo attack to one enemy. It is single target, but I really don't think they really cared for the damage there. I think they just wanted some flashy shit coming from Lagrabos, and I'm still trying to figure out where that damn lightsaber came from whenever he shoots it. So, I think I'm a big fan of the original Lagrabos. I remember back in the day, that was like my primary unit in towers. I don't even think I could clear towers without him back in the day. So he will always be, really important to me. And even when he did age and not very well, would always defend him no matter what. I would talk about how good he was, and of course I can get the last like, oh, he sucks, But then I also have a lot of like streams where I'm yelling at the dude for going into battle and dying instantly. So that's where I was a little scared on the defensive side with him, because that was my biggest issue with him. They fixed that with this Lagrabos by adding some stuff to him, which is very, very nice. And we'll go over that here shortly. So going into his traits are really good too. I think my absolute favorite trait so far is definitely gonna be his trait 1. Um, chance for all attack magic to deal criticals. I don't know what that chance is. Zero, did you manage to maybe
No, anytime it says that, it just means that it enables magic crits.
magic crits?
Period.
Okay, cool. So I didn't know if there was like
That,
a
that's it.
different
So it
chance.
just means whatever crit rate you put on him, all the magics can crit, which means you can support through like Proud Force, or if for some
Right,
reason you need it for damage, which he shouldn't,
right.
you can do that. But basically, you can sustain with Proud Force is basically what this says, regardless of the magic you're using, which is awesome.
Nice, nice. I thought that was really cool when I first saw that. So we also have magic damage plus 60%. So you get that nice little 60% right off the bat when using non-stacking magic, damage cap plus 13k. Really, really nice. Again, there's really no downfall to this trait. I love it. Boost physical attack damage based on INT. He is a non-attribute attacker. His damage cap isn't very high on the non-attribute physical damage side, but it is nice that they went ahead and gave us that. They offered that. So if you would like to perform that, then it's possible. Um, Next we
Main
have
reason, the main reason that it is helpful is just because if you wanted to do something like Goddess Kiss, it directly
right,
plays into it. It's
right,
basically Thaumaturgy Ring for free that'll stack with it.
exactly. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool that that was already in there. And if you ran Thaumaturgy Ring, you could stack it with it. I think it does increase it, right? I mean, you definitely add the extra percentages. Xenoglossia, when only one weapon is equipped, is one staff, and special damage is 120%, damage cap plus 6k. So that's pretty cool. I didn't, yeah, it's there. Whenever using skill, stock magic power, and boost damage cap on the next magic, use max 15k at 5 times. When attack magic is cast, reset the boost amount, excludes magic, and regularly deals damage. So I kind of demonstrate this in the video I did. He basically will use his skills to boost his damage cap up to 15k max, and then you can go ahead and use one non-stacking magic, and it will boost the damage cap for that one, and then it will reset on wave. Really cool gimmick. It's
Yeah.
his refills are not bad. You can use like skill charges, Pirate's Feast. If you really want to guarantee some cap, but I mean, once you use, he only has, I believe, 5 S1s, I think 3 S2s, and only 1 S1. So if you are looking to kind of use this primarily, I'm guessing maybe some kind of SCT refill will
Yeah.
benefit him.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, overall, like I'm glad that they at least did something to try to
right,
like mix the hybrid side because that was my biggest disappointment with the original Lagrabos is it felt like he was the first unit that felt like, oh, this could be like physical, especially with like the Yoda theme of jumping in with like a staff and things like that.
right.
But then also sling spells in between, and it just didn't hit.
Hmm.
Um, from what I've seen, it kind of seems like this was a pretty bad attempt at trying to make it work. Like
Yeah.
it just like it's cute. It feels like this entire trade
Cute.
two is cute at best.
Right, right.
Um, and like there's a few reasons for that, but one thing to speak to the benefit of it at least is from what I can tell, um, his S1 is probably one of the fastest in the game. So like just spamming off 5 of those is probably super duper fast. Like it looks quicker than V's. Like either as quick or quicker than V's S1, and I don't think there's a range restriction. So if you had like max 5 stocks on it and you just wanted to fling all 5 off, I bet it would take a matter of a couple seconds. So like it's not that bad
Yeah, no, it's
to
really
get that
quick.
cap.
Oh yeah, it's
But
very
like
quick.
doing it regularly probably is not worth your time.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, because he doesn't really do much for the on the physical side anyway. Because
Mhm.
like he doesn't really have much for caps for it.
Mhm.
Um, but it's cool. I'm glad they
Yeah,
did
it's
something.
there. It's there, and you can use it. So I guess they just wanted you. At the end of the day, I think they wanted you to really have fun with the unit, and they kind of gave you options to do that. Because after like doing some testing on him, he is a lot of fun. There's several ways to build him. We can go over a couple here today. Just yeah, his kit is so versatile that you can kind of just throw whatever your camera's going crazy again, Zero. Um, you know what? I honestly I think it might be just Discord because the YouTube part is fine. Um, yeah, so I really do like the unit. Very, very good. So we can actually go into his skills real quick. So he does come with a lot of stuff that I think just it's really, really good.
Stacked.
Yeah, it really is stacked. There was one thing that I didn't catch during the video that I did see, and it kind of really just threw me off. but it made me like the character like 10 times more because of something that I missed. So the charisma is very nice. Yeah, what's going on, Epic? The charisma is very, very nice. I do like it. All allies magic damage plus 20%, non-stacking magic damage plus 5k. So very similar to his original charisma. It is, I think his original was either 2k or 3k. I'm not too sure.
It was 2K. Yeah,
2k. So they
2K to
gave,
all magic.
yeah, so they gave you an extra 3k cap on this, and then all allies gave magic damage plus 20. I do see a kind of a small value. I actually do like to run Linnaeus and him on the same team because it's kind of fun. Because Linnaeus has the the stacking magic and he has the non-stacking, so it's fun. Big Bang, really awesome.
It is worth hold on. It is worth noting for people though that the even though he does have a higher cap on this version of Lagrabos, it's a
Mhm,
lot like Balin's where it is limited to that non-stacking. So like
yeah,
Lennius's stacking stuff doesn't get a benefit from it at all.
no, no. Uh,
Um, but
so,
yeah,
you know what's funny? I didn't, sometimes I guess I kind of forgot that there was additional stuff attached to each magic. I guess it'd been a while since I kind of messed with it and kind of actually looked, really close at it. But I didn't realize Big Bang did an STR minus 20% and damage cap.
yeah.
I was like,
I forget
oh,
about it too.
yeah, I
But
literally I forgot about it. It was crazy. So I'm kind of liking these even more now. So yeah, you got Big Bang. You can have a chance to reduce enemy SCR and damage cap plus 1000. Absolute Zero does M&D minus 20 and damage cap plus 5k. Nether Tempest hits the defense side, and then 1000 X Radia inflicts the INT, puts more damage cap on the Thunder side, and then Black Hole is inflict silence and does an extra 1k cap. Apocalypse is Lagrabos' like main thing. Like whenever original Lagrabos came out, this was like the bread and butter of the unit. We first saw this, and then the biggest thing that caught our attention was the 990,000 cap, which is pretty cool. Seeing over 1 million hit in one single attack is really interesting to watch. Um, I loved it.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny. And it was really great in towers. So this thing carried me for months and months on end. So if people are struggling with tower, and especially with the fairies and the spirit stuff, yeah, this apocalypse will nuke all of them. So it's really cool. The next thing is Sorcerer's Barricade. We have give a unit a buff to cut damage from enemies a set amount, boost damage cut based on M&D. When set, magic attack damage is plus 10% at 40 MP. So, did you find yourself using this Zero?
Well, one, I don't have Lagrabos, so if I had him, I probably would use
Is
it.
it?
But I need to see the numbers on it.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it's all damage,
Mm-hmm.
sounds pretty good overall.
Yeah.
It's a way to have some survivability. Worst case, I'll keep it on because it's basically staff boost for free. So like, why not? It's free
Right.
magic just to have it equipped. As far as how good it is, I don't know. I'll need the numbers from Lake to know for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What that proportion to mind actually is. So.
Right, right. Overall, it's really good. I always like, why not equip it? It's nice. It's a nice little survivability. So yeah, definitely use this when you're when it's available. Does come with MP up max, which is really nice. Magic up and arcane max. This
Nice.
yeah, this was awesome,
Great.
man. Yeah,
Good.
so good. Critical 2.
Oh,
He does come with a nice little 5% there. Illusion, we have chance for evading. Beast Geyser. Now, there is, I know, like when I saw this originally on the video, I completely I didn't get Eliza whenever she first launched, so I didn't
I
realize that this kind of existed the way it does. But when I saw Beast Geyser, I was like, oh great, they gave him a random geyser. Like, what are the odds of us fighting just that one beast throughout the game? No, it actually affects beast, plant, insect, bird, fish, and creature type. So ideally, it is Brute Slayer, but in the geyser form. So
yeah. Hopefully they'll
this,
change that because
yeah,
it's wrong here. It's been wrong. The other unit that
mhm,
has it is Shift Eliza, and it's been wrong
right.
since her.
Mhm.
I never realized the funny part is in the description it literally says anti-brute.
It
Like
does,
it's
dude.
literally right in
Yeah,
the
it is.
description.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Uh,
But this honestly, this changed Lagerbus for me. Like when I first, like I said, when I first saw Beast Geyser, I was like, oh great, just a random geyser. Then when I read it, when I actually unlocked it, I read it and I was like, holy shit, he has Brute Geyser. So this, he
yeah,
basically is a monster in PvE. Sorry, he's
yeah,
just absolutely insane. Not only that, but there's another amazing thing that came on the Arc that just got released, and that's going to add to that. So we'll get to that here shortly as well. He
yeah.
does come with auto crit, which is really good. I
It's
really like,
great.
yeah.
I didn't realize he came with that.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's really
oh
nice.
man. It was so hard to find something wrong with this kit. There's one thing I didn't like, but it's minor. It's not it's nothing too crazy. Advance circle, gain magic circles, gradually cover MP. So that's nice. Auto recast, always nice to have.
Yeah.
Um
I mean, at this point, if we ever get a new mage and it doesn't come with auto advance circle or auto recast or
yeah.
something that gives you that effect or a greater one,
Mhm.
it's a yikes from me. So like
Right.
those kind of have to come stock standard at this point, I feel like.
Definitely.
Because they're super good and they're just standard for the most part. Auto recast especially is exceptional.
Yeah, so good. Um,
Love to see
I love this Sorcery Awaken.
it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, no, it was really cool to see this one close to death. Great, greatly restore HP, INT, defense, M&D plus 50%, boost movement speed. Yeah, no, it's really nice because whenever he does hit that gets that low, he won't use from that convergence. So it's nice that they gave us some type of awaken, and it's Sorcery Awaken. So very new. I like it a lot. They also
I would
gave us.
imagine we'll see that on an arc at some
I
point,
really hope
probably.
so, man. Absolutely.
Seems like it. It's
Yeah.
cool. For anybody that wonders, like it's literally awaken, but it
Yeah.
gives you an int bonus instead of a strength
Yep.
bonus.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So maybe later on this year we'll see this on maybe I have a feeling they'll probably throw it on the UR or something. Hopefully they
Also,
don't.
no, because he comes with some crit stuff and he can crit on all his magic, you definitely want to throw Proud Force on him to help out with your sustain.
Mhm.
Then, like, as he's doing damage, he's going to be at max health, which means you're going to be getting, like, Moonlight, which we're getting into here.
Mhm.
And that Awaken buff as well. Like, not only is that going to heal you back up by, basically 10,000, um, but that 50% Mind buff also is going to make your Proud Force really insane.
Yeah.
You'll basically be doing, like, times 7 the heals just off of awake that metis buff being
Mhm.
active. Like it's
Right.
really crazy.
Yeah, so I think judging by his procs yesterday, I was doing some testing on just kind of see what his HP recovery is. He was recovering like a little over 1,000 per hit, which is really freaking cool after that awaken buff happened. So I was like, man, he just yeah, he definitely surprised me on survivability this time around, just because like I said, my biggest issue was with the original was that he died quite often. And it was kind of annoying. So this kind of threw me off a little bit on how they built him and how they decided on the route they decided to go with. Um, Also got Moonlight 2. This is so good because like the way Zero said, you know, he does get some really high procs because of his MND is so high. He does get some really good HP recovery when you have Proud Force. This does also stack with Moonlight 1, so additional 20%. So running both will get you 50% to INT, just more additional damage. So really good. Our door, again, we want to make sure we stay at the HP at max HP because you do get a crit rate here as well.
Yeah,
Um,
a little wasted in my opinion. That one
yeah,
feels weird to me, but
right. For a C, I'm pretty sure
some.
you would throw it on anyways if it wasn't for free. So,
I mean,
um,
I wouldn't
you
unless I
wouldn't.
was in arena and
Right.
trying to like do something. But like
Different.
In
Yeah.
PvE, it's completely dead to me. Crit
Yeah.
is just for sustain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's it. But I guess you know what? I take that back.
Uh-oh.
Because since he can crit on everything,
Yeah.
if you are doing anything other than Earth,
Mhm.
which is when you would be using Sandworm, obviously, because it's incredibly broken. But if you're running any other element,
Mhm.
you can technically go and run Heaven Starlord, and that works with any type of damage. So if you want, you can make your crits do 25% extra pursuit hits
Mhm.
on his big meaty Earth attacks. So if you wanted to push it, that's the only time I'd run Ardor. But it's
Right.
for free, so like for that
Yeah.
build, if you want to,
I
cool.
haven't tried a pursuit build with him yet. I wanted to try it today, just for fun to see what I could get. It'd be really interesting. Even half of like 100K, that's really nice to see as a
Dude, he'd
pursuit.
be nutty with Sandworm. I can only imagine how incredibly gross he is with Sandworm with Nether Tempest. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's just, even without it right now, he's pretty nutty.
Yeah, I can
So,
imagine.
so next we have attack, non-attribute attack raise 3. So this is an extra 2K cap with a 30% non-attribute damage. This again, this will help him on the physical side and his apocalypse. The next thing, these two are the most important things to have on mages: immovable object and high level magic chant. This will basically spellcasters will not be interrupted by most attacks. Um, I haven't seen him been. I think he's been interrupted a couple times during fights, but very rarely will you see him being interrupted. So it's very nice. We also have high level magic chant, cast speed plus 20% to all magic. Very nice. Ultimate casting. So they did pull something from the Maja side. We have non-stacking magic attack damage 200%, and then damage plus 40,000. Enemy M&D minus 25 deal damage. Non-stacking magic uses MP plus 150 and casting speed boosts are halved casting speeds at 40%. So he will not go past that 40% threshold. But ideally, it's only going to affect you at the beginning of the battle. Once that happens, it's a constant flow of magic as long as you just you keep your casting up. So I mean, I remember.
I'm going to dive into that just a little
Yeah,
bit. So for anybody that's relatively new here and maybe doesn't have Maja, doesn't know how this shit works. So first of all, do you want to just like hold on ultimate casting so that's like pulled
absolutely.
up or whatever? But first of all, Maja is known as like a big PP mage simply because this skill is in his kit. Period. Like he doesn't need anything else really. This inherently makes him a very very good caster. As far as just like blowing things up.
Mm.
Um, but the way that it works is it basically forces you to take a long time to cast by cutting that cast speed by 40%. The way that cast speed works in this game is every spell has a particular percentage of cast speed required to make it cast instantaneously. And most of these high level non-stacking spells take like 70 or 80%. So this getting cut in half means that at minimum you're going to be waiting around for like 4 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe more potentially. I don't remember. I haven't measured it in a while. But after you cast it, though, you get all this extra damage and such. And what DK was talking about of where it's a constant stream is when your unit is freed up to be able to move around, use skills, whatever. If you cast up your next spell while the other one's animating, um, they're going to start that timer. So the like 4 or 5 seconds you need. So that can get consumed while your spell's going off, so that as soon as it ends, it'll just instacast because you've already spent the time, the prerequisite time to actually cast it. The thing that's weird with him, though, is if you wanted to use his like trait 2 gimmick to like throw some extra skills or whatever, you could do that in between spells, which is kind of what it seems like the fantasy would be, but then ultimate casting is going to make you waste time anyway, because then you have to wait for that timer. So, like, if you're using ultimate casting, his trait 2 seems really shitty to me. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Right.
Um, but I could see a weird build where, like, maybe you want him to be faster, and maybe you don't need as much big nukey damage, and maybe you want to try not having ultimate casting, and then you do something like throw a big spell in between, you throw off some skills, or you turn on your charisma at that time or whatever, and then like right away you can insta cast some other spell and maybe not hit quite as hard, but still hit really hard because you've got your extra 15k cap. I don't know. I could see there being like some interesting things you could do with the builds off that, but yeah, I just figured I'd go a little more in depth than that. And for context, because he comes with auto recast as well as high level magic chant, that's 50% cast speed. So if you want to max him out, you're going to be looking at probably adding Cultist Pendant, which is exactly 30. That'll perfectly max him out. And I believe that's going to be a difference in basically being like 4 seconds to cast and 8 seconds to cast.
Mm-hmm.
Me might be slightly off, but it's roughly that. Like it roughly doubles the speed. It's like an extra 2 to 4 seconds. So yeah.
Very
But
nice.
again, only the first time.
Right, right, right. So yeah, that's that's ultimate casting for you right there. The next thing we have is a Sorcerer's Wisdom. Now, I really do love this. I'm glad that they're going this route with these. Very similar to like the chivalrous mindsets, but for mages, we have staff and robe, staff INT, and we have robe MND plus 100%. So yeah, no, I really like that we did this, and they didn't just give us one; they gave us two. So that was really cool of them to do that.
Yeah.
He does come with staff boost and staff mega. So if you do need to run staff high boost, you can, just to kind of complete the package. I really don't feel like he absolutely needs it, but if you're having trouble capping, definitely throw it on at 9 SC. It's not bad. Um, we do have robe high boost again. Dude, they did so well on this damn kit. Uh, um, yeah, so for robe, it's equipped to get 20% to M&D and 10% to magical attack damage. So really nice. Magus, Magic Aura. I absolutely love this. This was originally on Sheeta, if I'm not mistaken, because it was like our
Yep.
weird
He's the only
hybrid.
other one with it.
Yep, he's the
Yep.
only one that has this. And it's funny because I was talking to Tetsu about this because I felt like Linnea's kind of needed this a little bit, and he didn't come with it. So
Dude, I would have been so busted if Lennius had that.
exactly. And I feel
Like,
like
oh my god, that'd have been
right.
gross.
We were having a really big conversation about Linneus and physical damage and what I felt like he needed and didn't have, and Magus
Very
Magic Aura absolutely is a must. So I really do hope in the future that we do get this. If it's a UR arc, chasing. It's chasing time.
Well, yeah, if that was ever teachable, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it would be absolutely. Like I said, they didn't have to give him. They did not have to give Maja. They didn't have to give Lagrabos that, but they did. Huge win. The next thing we do have is convergence. We have when taking lethal damage from an enemy, spend 2% of the damage as MP and survive with 1 HP. This basically turns him into a zombie. Best way to describe it. He's just really hard to kill, but he will be getting his MP absorbed. So just honestly, an MP, like I was talking to Zero, I was watching a lot of MP players because I have been doing a lot of God Forge lately because I've just been really slacking on it. I noticed that a lot of people were trying to have fun with the new Lagrabos and were just getting absolutely destroyed by physical damage. So that's why I went ahead and made a video on kind of like a defensive side of him, so maybe somebody can kind of learn that there is a defensive side to mages if you really need it, but I mean it's not 100% necessary. But convergence, there is definitely a big positive to it and a negative. So, but it's definitely really good. I'm glad again something Linneas should have got. He didn't. Linneas got auto heal instead. Uh, there's just like every miss that Linneas had, in my opinion, Lagerbo Scott. And I just, yeah, I was really happy with this kit. The next thing we got is Zero Dome. We have when magically attacking, boost damage proportional to closeness of the enemy at max 50%. Again, another win. I believe, do you know the distance? I forgot. It was like, oh
I
gosh.
mean, it's almost on top of them to get the full
Yeah,
effect.
right.
But I mean, it's basically reverse Maglion. So
Yeah.
there's varying degrees. That's roughly the equivalent of
Mm.
a unit sprite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
however wide they are technically for their hitbox, roughly that, and like measure an amount of them out, and that's generally how the scale works. But the thing that I like about Zerodom on him
Mm.
versus Linneas, because I do
Yeah.
like it on Linneas, especially because you can run things like surprise attack,
Right, right.
and that works. But it's extra nice on Lagrabos, I think, because his S2 is a gap closer.
Yes. And that's
You
how you
know,
get it. Hmm.
I like if like skills are usually not meant to do much damage on your mages in general, so I really like if they have some form of utility.
Hmm.
So like his S3 hits everything on the board. That's really unique and
Right.
cool. There's value there. His S2 is a gap closer so that you can get in for a zero dome. His S1 is really spammable if you feel like using his trait one, I guess, or like
Hmm.
flinching things or something.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, like I said, I've been using Linneas. I don't know. I've been just having fun with Magic lately. So we asked for this. We were like, Adis, make Magic fun again. And yeah, they kind of they did. They got Linneas. Linneas just like at that instant cast. He does
Lennius
like,
is yeah,
yeah,
Lennius is super fun.
he's fun. He's a lot of fun.
Lagrabos feels like my biggest complaint with Maja is, hey, he's a one-trick pony. He literally sits there, he casts a spell.
Mhm.
If you don't cover for it, he takes a nap on the job when his shield pops. Like, he's just literally boring as fuck. Like, he's effective, but he's just super fucking lame. And
Right.
it feels like Lagrabos has almost all the upsides of Maja,
Hmm.
but with more variety and
Right.
like utility and like cool stuff. So like he just seems like fun in
Yeah.
comparison, you know?
Yeah,
Um
100%. Like I said,
and
running both of them is a lot of fun. And it's just
yeah.
you really engage in the game when you're controlling both. I found that too. Instead of just like autoing and letting Lagerbush just destroy everything. I'm having a lot of fun with the event fighting Zuglis with Lennius and
Yeah.
Lagerbos. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Uh,
It's worth noting that there's a bug right now. Feature. The
mhm.
feature. Um so for some reason, Apocalypse,
Mhm.
it doesn't completely take the cast space like it should.
Really?
If you cast Apocalypse,
Mhm.
you could have your Lennius cast one of his stacky magics and they'll both go off. You could have
What?
two Lagraboses in your party and they'll do both Apocalypses
At the same
in the
time?
party. Yeah,
What? That's
yeah. So
crazy. And
I'm
with
guessing it's
Apocalypse
not gonna
Meteor,
lag.
oh my god.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
That's one hell
so
of a
that's a
glitch.
thing. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
getting patched
So
soon.
anyway, I think there is a caveat that like Apocalypse needs to go first, and then like once that's on the board, like other things can go. So like if you have a normal spell, like say Lennius uses Big Bang, then he's gonna be queued up just like normal. But if Apocalypse casts first,
Mhm.
other things can go. It's like it just doesn't take the cast space. It waits for the cast space, but it doesn't hold the cast space.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How did
So I'm sure that'll get fixed. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. because that doesn't seem intentional, but that's pretty funny.
That's awesome. I gotta try
Figured
it
I'd
out
share that.
later. Yeah, definitely.
The other thing I'll note that is like again fun factor and effectiveness over Maja is yeah, Maja also had convergence, and the problem is like because of ultimate casting and all that sort of shit, magic aura spells are super duper expensive,
Hmm.
which means having convergence eat your MP really sucks unless you can get it back. So usually if you're killing mobs, you're gonna use like Pose of Honor and get 5% pack of your max per kill, at which case it's super easy to sustain that high cost.
Yeah.
Against bosses, it's a little bit tougher, but like with convergence, if you're taking a shitload of damage and it's leeching your MP pool, if you're somebody like Maja, like you're kind of just fucked. If you run out and can't cast a spell, you're literally useless. So like for me, I take convergence off almost always. I just run like decoy or some other form of a revive. I'd rather die and get revived and keep all my MP
Right.
than have him dick around with invincibility.
Yeah.
Lagrabro is unique because his Goddess Kiss procs don't suck.
Yeah. They don't
You
suck at
know?
all. Yeah, no, they're
Uh,
good.
so he can actually go and like from range
Hmm.
pierce through enemies and get MP back to fuel convergence and keep his and keep his magic going. Whereas like Maja feels like he's kind of on a timer, kind of similar to like Angela going against bosses, where she automatically leeches extra MP just because she's fighting a boss. But like if you get tapped out on Lagrabos, if you can teach Goddess Kiss, like he could actually fight back
Hmm.
and you actually have options, which just more reason for me to love him way more than Maja.
Yeah. And like I said, his I mean, his he's a single wield weapon user, so you know you could use it for physical too, and it's not bad. I really what I think I remember his S3 is like 25 hits or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. Uh so yeah, no, it's such a great unit. Going down fairy speak.
I hate this
I
skill so much.
fucking hate this. I hate
It's so
this.
shitty.
God. When using summon beasts, give a unit damage plus 30%, damage cap plus 3k, buff from the same attribute as the summon beast. Continues until like, incapacitation. So what they probably should have done, and they did switch this. Didn't they switch it with one of the units where it was you didn't no longer had to cast it but just run it?
Shift rolling. No, it was Shift Rollin had one where you need to have Lug Mechia set.
Uh-huh.
They just changed it to not even be involving a summon. They just made it a flat free
There
bonus.
you go. Okay. But
So
S
that was the
Eliza
change.
has you have to cast it?
No,
No.
that one's just passive.
Passive. Okay, see.
Yeah, so they left it for her. We
Mhm.
just don't have many people that use summons.
Right.
The
And to match the attribute that you're using too is pretty silly.
yeah, like my problem is like it's not balanced for the cost. Like I assume at some point we're gonna get some UR that automatically charges our summon gauge. Like
Mhm.
absolutely, like that's a thing that's gonna happen.
Mhm.
But one, our summons suck right now, so we're not gonna do that until they rework summons, which may never happen, probably.
Probably not.
But if you go out of your way to do something like use a UR that doesn't exist yet to instantly charge your summon to get this thing,
Mhm.
it's 3 fucking K. Who cares?
Yeah, it's not worth it.
He
It's
already
not worth
caps
it.
anyway. So it's like what they should have had this skill be is like literally just have it be it could even be a smaller amount to be more balanced, but just be like plus 20% damage and plus 2k for the element of magic that is like associated with the currently equipped summon, and that would have been fine. Or they could say, "Hey, on activation of the spell, give us plus 50% damage and like 10 or 15k cap. Like make it worth our time that we waited for a fucking summon
Yeah.
and have it isolated to an element." Then like, hey, that's a reason that like if I had a UR that could instantly charge my summon, I would meme intentionally with that to get like an extra 15k.
Right.
I would do that. But
Yeah.
like 3k, go fuck yourself. Like that's less than I can get equipping an arc a lot of
Yeah.
times. Like
That
I
would
can
have
get
been really
fucking
cool,
melee marathon
right?
a lot.
Like use an
You
arc
know?
skill to increase the 3k. That'd been really nice.
Yeah, it would have been
That'd
cool.
been really
It's
cool. I
just
didn't think
a
about
neat thing,
that.
but yeah, that's basically a dead skill to me. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's a flavor thing, I guess. So it's
Yeah.
something, but it could have been better.
Fairy speak. Oh Lord. Anyways, we have the last one here is Apocalypse Meteor. So I was really happy to see this. It is a little bit RNG, but still really nice. Basically, you cast your Apocalypse, and the hit count is between 7 to 13 hits. It is very random. Change each hit damage cap to 90k. So at 7, I think it's at 7 hits. It starts at like 600 plus thousand, and then increases depending on how many hits you do get when you cast it.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at base when you give him no cap raises, he caps for like 170k, right? On
Uh,
Apocalypse, I'm pretty sure. At least that's what the event Lagrabro does.
you know, to be all totally honest with you, I've only used Apocalypse a couple times. I'm having just so much
Yeah,
fun with this non-stacking magic right
yeah.
lately. I just haven't even really messed with Apocalypse
Okay.
too much.
So yeah, so I'm pretty positive it's what it is. It's 170k.
Hmm.
And so with that, if you get the minimum amount, you get 1.2 million damage, just shy of it, but still
Yeah,
roughly 1.2 million, which is 20% better than the original spell.
yeah,
So at worst, it's 20% better than Apocalypse.
right.
So that's pretty good.
You're so good
But
at
then if you,
math, Zero.
I've got a calculator. Don't worry,
Oh shit!
I'm not
Oh,
that.
whatever.
Yeah. But then if you look at the other one, you're looking at literally an extra million. So 2.2 million if
Yeah,
you hit the max amount.
yeah,
So somewhere between 20% better and 120% better than the original spell is what we get out of that skill.
yep,
Which, that's cool.
yeah, definitely.
Neat.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, like Zero said, he takes off convergence on we were talking about earlier. He said he would take. There's just so many ways to build Lagrabos, and really, at the end of the day, you're gonna use what you got. Um, and everybody's gonna have different things. So, and what the great thing about Lagrabos is that his free kit is so damn good that you have the option to kind of play around with him based on how you feel like he's gonna work in the current boss that you're fighting or multiplayer round. You know what I mean? You have a lot of wiggle room with this unit, so which is very it's been very rare lately. I feel like for mages specifically, we kind of struggle because we don't have a lot of mage um, passives yet. So the fact that we're starting to get a lot more is definitely helpful. To where we can kind of make these units even cap on like high resistances. So no, he's definitely a big step in the right direction. I hope to see even more from mages. I also really hope to see even more passives in the future where they favor our mages that we currently have. Because a lot of people weren't gonna pull for him. I get it. A lot of people said they had Linnaeus. A lot of people said they had Maja, and that I do agree. Like if they, especially if they have those two, definitely skip at least wait till maybe like a 30k pity, and then grab him on that, and then wait and kind of see what the anniversary has to offer. So I mean, and I believe he should be available during Annie because I believe he's around for like 27 days. So I'm not too sure. Yeah, 24 days left. I'm not too sure if he's gonna leak into Annie, but I guess
He
when
very
Annie,
well could.
yeah, I very
Totally.
well could. So I would if you don't know for sure if you want to pull for him, I would definitely wait till Annie units at least drop so we can see what they're gonna do, and then make a decision from there. Very similar to the way we had the collabs in the past, and the other banners. So all right, guys. So now we talked about Lagrabos. I rate him pretty high. He's very good. He's definitely not boring. Like the way Maja kind of was when he first came out. Maja did have some really cool things. The judo chop in the world was really funny. But this one, Yoda, he definitely meets the requirements for a Jedi Knight now. So I really am kind of liking him a lot. But one of my biggest things that I loved about this banner was this arc. This is the next thing we're gonna go ahead and talk about now. I know Zero is
Did
really.
you want to do his paids right away, or should we do those
I
after?
was gonna do them after, but we can do them
Oh,
now
okay,
if you
that's fine.
want.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So we can go ahead and talk about So SSR arc of me in the general pool. We have Ancient Fairyland. Mom, Mama. How do you
Nap?
say it? Memenep? Memenep?
Mama nap, I
Mama Nep.
guess.
Yeah, so this is an amazing arc. I was so happy when we got this. It's gorgeous too. I love the art on it. It looks like kind of like an LR arc, like a lot of the ones that I've seen recently, especially that. Yeah, no, it's so nice
Great. I
looking.
love the artwork. It's so
Yeah.
pretty.
We have a decent HP at 1747, MP at 55, SCR at 68, defense at 105, but he does favor the INT and M&D, which is going to, that's what Lagerbos, likes.
I
Um,
love that this arc is actually min-maxed. This
yeah.
is dope. Like low strength, relatively low defense,
Hmm.
pretty middle to low HP, but
Hmm.
quite good MP int in mind. That
Yes.
feels good.
Yes. And it gets a lot higher. They each go into the 400. So definitely very valuable. And a lot of I get a lot of questions because especially since we had that selector ticket, a lot of people did pull Maja. They were kind of asking about what arcs to use, and I was like, man, we really just don't have a lot of magic arcs out there. And then they dropped this bombshell a couple of months later, so really, really good. So with this one, we do have a staff robe equipped. We have INT and MD plus 15%, battle start, auto cast, recast, and regeneration. And then we have when using non-stacking magic, you get an extra 20%, and then damage cap plus 1500. So good.
Nice. I
So damn
mean,
good.
yeah. Um, yeah, in general, this is all just nice. I
Yeah.
mean, extra stats so you can cap
Hmm.
easier. Auto cast and regeneration. I mean, usually, like most things are going to have recast anyway, but if you
Right.
happen to have a mage that doesn't for some reason, getting it out the gate when you maybe you don't have the Aldana Institute arc or something, that's
Right.
cool. And like I said, just a flat boost to damage and some damage cap when we don't usually see too much damage cap. Like the only one that we have other than this one is 500 on only elemental magic from elemental arc. This is 3 times more and on any non-stacking magic.
Right.
So like cool.
Even on the art, I can't really tell where this is at because if you look up, you have whales on the very top swimming. So I'm like, is this thing underwater or like is it like shielded underwater?
That's what it reminds me of.
Right.
Is
It's just
is
so
is
cool,
that sort of
man.
like shielded, like in Phantom Menace,
Right.
where
Yes. Oh,
they're
yes.
underwater
Yes.
and they
Yeah, dude, it's Star Wars reference. What is happening? Like what? Like, dude, I'm
Alright,
telling
hold up.
you.
Let's look at the art. Is Jar Jar somewhere in this art?
I think yeah, the little thing with his hand up under the 10, that could be Jar Jar, man. No, but
Oh,
yeah, I really think they they kind of went into a little bit of Star Wars universe for this one. No, absolutely, love it. I absolutely love it. When I first saw this, I was like, dude, 9 out of 10 on this damn arc. It's so good, and it's general, so everybody has the option to get it. Even during Annie, if they give us the free pulls, like this is something you want to, try and aim for, something to be excited for. So really, really cool. Also, not arc. Set aside the arc and the stats. Let's go ahead and look at the skills. Again, we have silence resist, row boost. All this is benefiting magic, which is also a huge win. Normally these things are scattered everywhere. We get this random skill there, random skill there. This one is reduces chance of being silenced. We have row boost. We have magic snipe. Now, guys, this is so stupid. He does come with that brute geyser, beast geyser. Now this will add an additional 20% to that geyser, and it will stack with special boost. So
yeah.
just
Which is really nice for 3SC. Like
yeah,
it's technically not quite as effective as Special Boost, but it's
right.
really fucking good.
At 3SC, so damn good. I mean, honestly,
Really
you use 3SC for like was it crit 2 or like maybe like a 10% or 5% up on
Well,
INT. Some
look, there's Rogue Boost, or like, a good magic buff is usually like Staff Boost, which
right.
gives you 10% magic damage for 3.
Yeah.
Like this is double that, as long as you're hitting a geyser.
Yeah, this is
Really
definitely
good.
a huge win. They also gave us reinforce on this, so if anybody doesn't have reinforce and you do pulse arc, you'll get with special gauge is full, you get an INT plus 30%. You don't need to. He's nothing conditional on the S4. It's just for show. But if you just go ahead and keep that, the S4 in play, you'll get an extra 30% to your INT, which is also very good at 5SC. He does come with plant geyser. Oh, you got something to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Plant geyser. So Green Gate, I was really, really looking for this. So yeah, Pablo, pain in the ass. Now he just gets nuked. So good. Green Gate's
Yeah, so that's another one of those things that like when Lennius was out, we were like, he might feel a little iffy now,
yeah.
because he's so hard to maximize,
Mm-hmm.
but over time he's gonna age well, and this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the things is
Yep.
like he struggles in some of those plant fights where they
Yeah.
have like decently high mine to like resist all your stuff.
Mhm.
Plant Geyser will fix that right up.
Yep. Yep. And then Magic Snipe, and then your special boost. So
Yeah,
yeah, Lineage should
exactly.
actually have no problem camping now on those gates. So
Against those, yeah, I think
mm-hmm.
so. I was able to get him to cap before, at least like in the Pablo fight, but
Right.
it took some tuning.
Right.
It's, it's not an easy
No, it's
it
not
is
an
not
easy
an easy
one.
feat.
So yeah, Plant Geyser. I was really, really looking forward to seeing this, and it was on the. I imagine that it'd be on one of my favorite arcs for mages right now. So again, really good, and then just more icing on the cake. Sorcerer's Wisdom to stack on with the Sorcerer's Wisdom 2. You get a staff and robe equipped, INT and robe M&D plus 50%, equaling to a total of 150% when you run both. So good.
Yeah.
Um,
It's also just so nice that like I think Reinforce was on the Lugmechia arc,
mhm,
but I think it was at either top tier or like relatively high,
mhm,
which means like you can teach it cheaper now,
yeah.
and like this comes with Lagrabos, and like he can use everything except Plant Geyser from
Right.
this arc. They
Right.
might not all be in like his absolute final build necessarily, but like as a new player, if you happen to get this and like everything else you get kind of sucks, like you have a path you can take of upgrading something where you can build onto your Lagrabos, which
Mhm.
is cool because lately we've been seeing some arcs where we'll get stuff and it's like, oh well, this is literally in their kit,
Yeah.
and like all there really is he doesn't have is this thing, and that's kind of shitty anyway. Like he doesn't even want it. That's for a different unit, but yeah, this is just a beautiful arc. I love this arc so
Yeah,
much.
no, I really do. I think, oh man, I'm so excited to see more of these SSRs come out. Um,
Wait, there's more.
there's more. Oh, there's so much more. We have the Architha reward. Yes, we finally got an Earth Staff.
Yay!
So, this thing is so good. Just more
So
icing on the cake here. We have Earth attack damage plus 30%. Yes,
and 50 MP.
yes,
Awesome.
yes, so
Hell yeah.
good. And
We don't
then
see 50 MP very often.
imagine when it's Godforge. Oh man,
Dude, yeah.
so good.
Godforge's lev over like 300 int.
Yes.
And I mean, it's probably just going to go up to 35
Yeah.
at plus 40, which will be really sad because it'll probably be very similar to the fire staff, but still,
Hmm.
I love that fire staff.
Right, right. I
So
wonder if they'll do something else on the trait. Maybe add an additional line there. Maybe I don't know.
give us
Auto
free sandworm pursuits.
watch what yeah, right? Oh, dude, that'd be so sick.
Even
Extra
if it
Earth
was
attack.
like 10%, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's it. That's
man,
good to think about.
that'd be insane.
So
I didn't even
yeah,
think
it's so good. So yeah, yeah, amazing arc, man.
I
So
want that arc a
eventually,
lot. Yeah, I
everybody will
really
have
want
this
that
down the road. So this will be something to look forward to. Now, going into his page real quick, we do have his page pretty good. We'll
It's a
go ahead.
tad, yeah,
Let me
yeah.
go ahead because I actually
His staff's a tad gross.
I kind of
If
kind of bought
I
it.
will
I
say myself.
kind of bought it.
You are somebody that likes to spend money, and I'm not.
A little here and there, here and there. Well, it was because I pulled the because I pulled the unit on the free not the free step up, but on the step up. So I was like, you know what? Okay, thanks, Adis. I'll throw some bucks at you. And I had something left over from the DMC collab, so it kind of gave me a little wiggle room. So this thing is super nice. SCR 181, INT 231, MP 50, again, really good. M&D at 105, but look at that trait. Non-stacking magic damage is plus 3k. Non-stacking magic damage plus 30%. And then also, why not? Give us some minus MP. So minus 3 on MP costs.
Yeah. So, like, a few things, which is like the
Favorite.
3K kind of negligible, but it's
Hmm.
nice.
Hmm.
I'll take it.
Hmm.
Like, because I mean, I think by default he's capping like 70, 80K.
Hmm.
So like that's less, less than 10% extra damage, but like it's good. That's
Yeah.
great. 30% extra magic damage is really good.
Hmm.
Especially if you're a newer player. Like the goddamn, that's so good. But then like minus 3 MP cost, that feels kind of crazy when he's going to be spending like 150 to 200 plus
Right.
probably for casting
Yeah.
spells.
You know what? They
Lol,
never
silly.
give us more than that on MP costs. If you look at like previous stuff, it's always like in the single digits. It's nothing big ever.
Um, oh, you know why? Because um, it can be abused in arena. This being minus
Oh,
three,
yeah.
this being minus three, I think that's similar to what OG Zekis's trait does at
Hmm.
E5. Um, which is like with adding an extra like one or two things, you can actually get with Forbidden Book or Ultra of the Forbidden Book,
Hmm.
you can get Blizzard to cost 5, which means you get to Blizzard at second 0 of Arena.
Oh, geez.
So he can do that.
Imagine hitting Blizzard and then at that high damage. Oh my gosh.
I don't think he would have the high damage necessarily, but like he could start casting it.
Yeah.
Well, no, with ultimate casting he couldn't do it.
Right, right,
It would
right.
have to be without, which means he wouldn't be hitting as hard. But either way,
Right.
it's cute. But yeah, usually on these paids, we would see a passive like this with like 0 MP, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's so good," but like I want MP, so I'm just not gonna run this staff. Like I don't want to go buy it, but like they're like, "Hey, take all the MP and a really good passive."
Yeah.
I think there's only one staff in the game that competes with this at all, and it's the Godforge of the Theo staff, which
Mhm.
like most people aren't gonna have anyway.
Right,
You know,
right. Hmm.
that's the only thing that's arguably better depending on the situation. So like, yeah, this is a home run for him.
Definitely. And of course, if you're doing maze, again, you save a weapon.
Yeah.
So really, really good. The next thing we do have is his robe. Now, I did not really care for this. It was a very easy pick for me. So with this one, we do have an INT of 103 MP of 50, which is very nice. We have defense of 143 and M&D of 176. So what this is going to do, it's going to cut physical damage based on enemy's nearness, max 20%. You have a continuous brave and aura effect. Battle start +5 of INT to defense and M&D. So I believe that's only for 40 seconds at the battle start. Ailments, he only does come with the resistance to silence. If you're only
Yeah,
going for one, of course, the staff is what you want to go for first. If
yeah,
you do end up going for the full pity on Lagrabro, of course, you want to grab, both or,
yeah.
no.
I'd totally take this. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go out of my way to get it
No,
though.
absolutely not.
But again, the
Mm.
only reason this is really good is again, there's 50 MP on it.
Mhm.
Like, there's 50 MP, which competes with all the other best robes in the game. You don't
Mm.
need this at all, but like he'll be tankier than with any other robe while having the amount of MP that's offered by the other
Yeah.
robes, and having like that continual aura, which saves you, 7 SC.
Right.
So like, yeah,
You can
um,
tell they wanted you can tell they spotted the problems with the original and they wanted to fix it with a defensive heart.
yeah, for sure. So they're like,
So
hey, if you want to go in and slap some things, you can. It's not going to
mm,
do much damage, but like you can hang.
they wanted you
In
to have
fact,
fun.
your magic's going to be stronger
Right,
if you
right.
get in there. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Yeah. So also you do get a nice save here because he does not come with auto aura. So you do get a 7 SC. Actually, he doesn't come with brave either. So that's a total of 14 SC saved along with
Yeah.
this. So yeah, there's a lot of
Granted, you're not
SC
gonna be
saves.
granted, you're not gonna put Brave on him.
No, of course
Just
not.
saying. You
But
weren't gonna put Brave on
no.
him, so that's just
Mm-mm.
it's there to be cute.
Exactly. Yes.
I guess if you wanna try to make physical do something just for funsies, then, like, cool.
I
It's
think
nice
that's
and
what they wanted. They just wanted players to have fun with this. I feel like
yeah.
that's the direction they're going right now. It's just they want players to have fun with what's going on. They're not too concerned about the random crazy shit they put on. They're like, oh, okay, well, if we want to do physical, then go ahead, do physical, have fun. So like I said, if you manage to go full pity on them, they're both great to grab. If you only could pick one, definitely grab the staff first.
Yeah. Staff solid 9, 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
Robes like a
yeah, yeah.
7.5,
It's-
maybe. 7.5.
Now, Zero, have you been able to play the event?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm keeping up. There's
nice.
repel stuff.
Yes,
They did some really good stuff with this event.
they did a
I
lot
think
of
this is
stuff.
probably the best repel system that they've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It really is.
It takes you 6 runs to get your max rewards for the day, which is awesome. And not only that, the best part, literally every account in the game can do God mode and
Yeah,
get almost 1,000 per run, because for the first time ever, the event unit, which is the free Lagrabos, is top fucking tier. He's
yeah,
so good.
yeah.
Like, just base stock Lagrabos with no skills taught with his paid gear,
Hmm.
he just slaps.
Right.
Like, you can just go in, he uses charisma, and I think it's like 4 apocalypses, the boss is over, you get an S ranking, you get 1,000 points, you do that 6 times, you get all your rewards for the day.
Yeah.
And then this reward chart, holy shit.
Yeah, so busted, man. This is stuff that
God
you could spend
damn.
a couple sometimes it could take a couple hours to get all this and you can get it in a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
like the way
So
Zero
6 runs,
said.
that's 12 event orbs, and that'll get you 5 of the rarest thing of all these limit break,
Hmm.
of all these enhanced 5 materials.
Yep, and they
Um,
cover all the bases with the
every day.
events. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But not only that, another thing that we have here, since this is like its own location, they did the thing that they normally do of like, there's some things you can do daily. You can go run like some ability gates for free.
Hmm.
So you can take in your thief or just run them in general. So you can go do these. You get 3 a day.
Yeah,
Great,
the
good
drop
drops.
rates are insane. The drop rates are so
Yeah,
good.
like regular clusters, mega clusters, all that. So that's great. Make sure to go and do that.
Hmm.
But also the thing that everybody gets excited about when we say wait for Sun Vessel Island, wait for Sun Vessel.
Yeah.
The limit break stuff,
Yep.
it's here. So like go do it. If you don't know what else to spend your resources on, bring like Yashimaru or whoever your thief is, come into these and just run them. It costs 1 event orb per run, and it's
Yep.
got triple the drop rate of playing multiplayer. Like, no brainer. Just go in
Yeah.
here and just stock up, get like 50 plus of all the rarest shit, and just don't worry about ever doing limit breaks. Like,
Exactly.
it bothers the fuck out of me when we get these events like Sun Vessel and these are here, and then like the day after it closes, or even while it's active, I see people hosting multiplayer runs of limit breaks. I'm like,
That's me.
what are you doing? Bro, you're literally just
Dude,
wasting
yeah.
orbs right now.
Yeah,
God damn.
I get pretty ridiculed for that. Especially
Yeah.
from Odium. I'm like, dude,
And then
I didn't do any of the damn gates or anything, man. I feel
and
so
then I see
dumb.
people in Discord, they're like, "Oh, hey, what the hell's the damn drop rate on these eyes? I just spent like 20
Yeah.
event orbs and I can't get a fucking drop. It's ridiculous." I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe fucking do the event when it's here. Fuck the shit we have, please.
Yeah.
Like, it's here, do it. Spend all your orbs. You can ignore the rest of the event if you wanted. Just like farm the shit out of these, man. They're so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not. I think a fishing would have been a lot of fun here too. But yeah, no, like Zero said, these are. I'm not ignoring these this time. I mean, I didn't ignore them completely, but I also didn't take it too seriously. As you can see, I did get the LC pass, which we are gonna go over here shortly. But yeah, now that I can do up to 15 runs every couple hours, I'm just grinding the hell out of this because Annie is coming around the corner. I do not want to be caught off guard, and same thing goes for you guys. Don't get caught off guard with all the missing materials. Go ahead and secure yourself for the future so that you guys have a better time with leveling up your units. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
this thing is it's just so damn good. When Vessel Island comes out, like Zero said, this event is a lot. I'm actually having a lot of fun just kind of playing with. Like I said, Magic was just not that fun to play with. Now I'm having a blast using Magic, just as if I was using physical. And Zuggless is just like that big ass punching bag for that. So a lot of fun. Also, you do have your dailies here as you want to do those, and then the drill house. Oh my god, just even more. The drill
Yeah.
house is so good. All you have to do is complete the Advocate of God. You'll get your tickets for S. I think it's A or no S rankings, up to 3 tickets, and then you can bring your tickets in here. You can also just really, if you're missing souls and you're missing awakens, right here, 25. I could get 25 probably in.
Do that daily,
Yeah,
please.
do it
Like,
once a
come in here,
day.
do that special soul accumulation that's 1 times daily.
Yeah.
Come and spend 1 ticket every day because that's 50 souls of your choosing.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think you even get mother souls that you can steal for. So I think you can get like 10 or 20 mother souls too.
Yeah,
I think I
I
could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure
I'm
that's what it was
trying to
for all the other
remember. I
events.
think it is 10. Maybe 20. I guess I don't pay attention much in the drops. I'm like, all right, done. But we also do have like the special training gates. Really good. Just one ticket, you know, 3 times a day, and then you have your soul accumulation at one, which I still haven't done for the day, but I will. We have your special skill studies, so teaching you new Lagrabros and other units, all their skills, very highly, and you can use this and the one that's in the daily missions. You can do up to 10 a day on that, so really good. Same thing with special training field, up to 6 a day. So there's just so much value in the drill house. So make sure you guys are paying attention, making sure you guys are doing this, knocking it out. Do not spend any orbs in the dailies, which are going to be this one over here. There's no reason to be. If you're going to spend orbs, make sure you just do it on the XP ups and the special skill studies. Don't do like this stuff right here. It's going
Yeah,
to cost you
you
2.
shouldn't be doing.
You should not be
Yes,
doing this.
not even a little bit.
Yeah,
Just because, like we said, it literally costs half for triple drop rate to do it in the other zone.
exactly.
And you don't have to rely on multiplayer, so you don't have to wait for lobbies or anything like
Exactly.
that.
It's so
And
quick.
it's also super chill since it's solo.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how do you have any particular method you use for farming these out of
Oh,
curiosity?
yeah, I can actually run one real quick. Let me see. Like specifically, let's go ahead and should we do like this one right here?
I don't care. I mean,
Yeah. Let's see.
I can show you like what I do too. Here, I can
Yeah,
share my
yeah, yeah,
screen
go
real
for it.
quick. I got one running actively. So what I do is I run Murn and Yashimaru.
Okay.
And so what I do is I have Yash go in with a standard crit build with Heaven Lord Starbow,
Mhm.
and I give Divine Right skill to my Murren with
Mhm.
skill charge 2 and 3.
Mhm.
So he sits here and he charges up skill charges for just his S2 and 3 for the entire match.
Mhm.
And I just play on auto, and then after 30 seconds on that boss wave, he'll just start using his most powerful skills and just work his way through the fight.
Mm.
Granted, it looks
Gotcha.
like I probably jacked up his build a little bit, so he's not doing as much damage as usual.
Gotcha.
I think that I probably took Trish off him, so he's single wield. So I need to fix that because he usually kills and
Right,
much,
right.
much faster. But yeah,
You
then I
okay?
just auto through it, and then Murn increases the passive drop rates. Yash steals really consistently, and
Definitely. See,
pretty great.
I'm running currently Joker as my main one. I use a Chrome and Yashimaru. So I basically kind of just let's see.
If I had Chrome, he'd be in my party for
Oh
sure.
yeah, actually I messed up. I usually bring another Chrome as a friend, but I just kind of give you I think I actually use all the Chromes for the day, so it doesn't really matter. And I didn't bring in a Chrome center. Let me go ahead and lower this first because this for some reason this shit is so
Yeah,
loud when it comes to
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, home run right away. Got one of the big rare drops.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. I
Yeah,
usually
good.
just kind of let them do their own thing, because I think if I let Joker do his thing, he'll kill everything.
Yeah.
I basically use Joker for the last wave, just to nuke whatever's left.
Mm.
But like I said, I forgot to bring a support because I wasn't paying attention. But that Murn shot's pretty good too. I like that. Let's see, we
Yeah.
just do
I mean, you
this.
could technically do it with anybody. I just
Right,
like that he does the he gives the extra like 30 or 35% on death drop rate or
right,
whatever.
right, right.
So that's just nice. Um, anyway, the other thing that is really cool that I didn't know
Oops.
until somebody had pointed out to me is the divine right skill. While your skills are inactive and you're not able to use them, you also don't charge SET.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just really good for that. Because normally, what might happen is uh, even if you could prevent them from using skills and you just had like skill charge 1 and 2, while
Mm-hmm.
your other unit is killing stuff, you're still gaining S1 charges, which means the AI is probably going to use it. But this way, when you actually get to that final wave, you just got max skill stocks of the shit you care about, which is cool.
Right. Went deaf,
So
I think. Sorry, guys. That's the funny thing is the volume's like really high, but it's only on one, so I don't know. I gotta fix that thing. But yeah, drops are really good. Let me see if I got anything good. Let's see. I got that. Yep, I got one right there.
like
And
all the
then
beast tails. God damn, need so many beast tails for Godforge. I'm finally stocked up from the last time this was here
yeah,
because I think this was here for like either Persona or whatever came before or after it.
right,
So
right. Yeah, so I basically use my Yoshimar for farming. I use Chrome for that drop at the beginning. I Beast Hunter. Whenever I do have both supports, I'll bring in 2 Beast Hunters, one for fourth wave or one for the second to last and last wave.
yeah,
So
for that.
it
That's why I
works.
run auto.
Right.
I'll just set it and forget it. I'll come back in like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, and I'll like replay.
Yeah,
I don't have time to manually
normally I'll
play.
bring two Chromes right here, and then yeah, I usually like to try and keep like 2 Chromes available with me.
Since
Um,
it's relevant, another thing you can do too is you could have one of your slots be Lagrabos or Maja if you
yeah,
have either.
yeah,
Because of ultimate casting, they cast really slowly.
mm-hmm,
So because that's the case, you can basically just have Yash or whoever your thief is go in, get some skill hits to be able to kill things
mm-hmm.
while that spell is queuing in. And by the time he's probably stoled from like 75 to 100% of the enemies,
Right,
then a nuke comes in and moves you to the next phase. And it also makes the boss wave go really quick.
right,
I think
right,
Lag would be even better
mm-hmm.
just because he's got Apocalypse. So for like the one that you were doing against the Chimera or whatever, that one gets pretty high resistances, which is annoying,
Yeah,
and they cycle. So if Lag does APOC pretty consistently on auto,
yeah.
that'd be
I've actually been using whenever I do autos on like let's say Green Gate. I usually do use Divine Right so that the mage that I do use won't cast in the middle of what's going on. So I've actually found some pretty good use for Divine Right. So yeah, no, I'm actually starting to really like it. Just oh wow.
nice. All right.
But yeah, so like me and Zero talking about, this is just something you guys should definitely be doing daily, because of how good it is. But
If you don't know what else to spend event orbs on, just go run these.
yeah, yeah, seriously,
It's that simple. Just go do that.
I did Nightmare
Um,
on accident.
oh, get wrecked, nerd.
I wasn't paying
Okay.
attention.
All right, cool. So, where do we have from here? So that's the event. Is that everything about the event
Yep,
for the
yep.
most part?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything else is
it's
just
good.
pretty self-explanatory. Unless they update it, because I've noticed that the even right here, this only goes on the repel rewards only goes to 7 days. I don't know what they're gonna do after that. I'm kind of curious. Yeah,
Um,
unless it's only for 7 days on the event. So
oh, to circle back really briefly,
yeah,
I know Jawline was doing some like arena testing with Lagrabos.
yes,
So figured in case anybody was curious about that testing, especially on its physical side, the really interesting thing about Lag is like his S3 is board wide, and that's super unique in the sense that like you don't have to worry about a lure,
hmm
which is usually some sort of a concern where all of your units will just pool all their attention onto a tank that's just built to survive, and then you can't actually do damage to everybody else. But With like the S3, it's automatically going to hit everyone. And like he doesn't have much for physical damage bonuses, except for the fact that um, Spell Render is obviously super duper meta, and it's because, it gives you all the skill stocks and stuff, but all that power comes at a cost. And the cost is that you take more damage from long range attacks and from neutral attacks. And it turns out a board wide neutral skill, even from a mage, happens to do pretty decently good. So if you're fighting like some kind of glass cannony builds that are just like running in a lure tank or something, you're probably going to do pretty well. The only negatives that he has to deal with primarily is that S3 is really disgusting for SET cost, like 52, 53. So even if you have uh, let's see. So we'd have Spell Render. He only has one charge by default. So with Spell Render, he'd get up to like 26. And then Skill Charge 3 will put him at like 46, which isn't nearly close enough. So like even with that, you're not going to be able to get one on Wave Start. And you'd almost have to add like Abandoned City to even get one. So the way to kind of get around that is to add 1 or 2 stocks to him. So Purple Orb that was just here, everybody that has it, or everybody should have it. If you don't have it, I'm sorry, you're a potato gamer. You should have done better. Don't pick Dante just because he's cool. He sucks. I'm sorry.
He's a potato
You deserve your fate. I'm sorry. Anyway, you should all have Purple Orb. So if you give him Purple Orb, he gets one for free.
Y'all are not potatoes, by the way.
No, only if you pick Dante over Mobile Orbs.
I picked Dante over Mobile.
I speak for myself, not for DK. You can stay subscribed.
If you picked a Nero over Purple Orb, then you're a biscuit.
I mean, Nero's at least kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
there's
honestly, I was there. Like I was telling you earlier, I was me and Dethrone were playing Arena last night, and he told me about a Lagrabro in Arena. I was like, what? Lagrabro in Arena? And I was like, let me see this. And yo, he smacked in Arena.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay.
And
he's
the other
a threat.
thing that I was thinking with that could potentially be done is, so you can get Purple Orb, and then you can also do Stardust Live, and that'll give him 3 stocks, which means you get halfway to the next one. Which means, yeah, you can then give him Skill Charge 3, and he won't quite have 2 stocks, but with Pose of Glory, if he happens to snag a kill or 2 off of the first S3, he could probably chain into a second one, and then he probably won't necessarily have any more. But what you could probably do is you can also run Pose of Honor and a whole bunch of MP, and then put him on like Priority Magic, and maybe even run really expensive spells with ultimate casting and all that. And maybe he starts out with 1 or 2 S3s and then gets a boatload of MP because he snags some kills early, and then he can start dropping some big PP bombs on people. You know, I'm just saying, like, there's things you can do.
Yeah.
You don't want to use him against tanky teams. Like, don't go against Spell Render teams. Don't go against something that's like 2 tanks and 2 healers. Like, he's probably just gonna suck a bag of dicks. But against like a more common like Spell Render, glass cannon type team, apparently he does pretty good.
I also want to point out that if you guys ever read the titles for a ridiculous podcast, there is a reason for that. Now, the humor all comes from Zero's brain, okay? So I want everybody to know that all the clever little puns that are on our titles.
Every time you cringe at our titles,
yes, it's all his fault.
I mean, to be fair, I usually come up with 3 options, and DK picks one.
I picked one out, but yeah, I mean, usually I'm laughing at all 3, so it's very hard. I honestly would probably use all 3 every time you throw them out there, because they're all, pretty hilarious. But that's why Zero's so useful. So
it looks like Jawline. Jaw was saying that the thing I described doesn't seem to work super well. As far as like starting out with an S1 and then trying to chain into Magic. It just doesn't play out super well on auto, so
Right.
How it goes.
Okay, so to point out the elephant in the room, the LC pass, I think that would be probably one of our last topics here. So how worth is the LC pass? Now, okay, I also honestly didn't really like it at first, but since I do some content creation on the side, I do like to level up my units faster. This helps me. So as a veteran player, that's only I really see it as, benefiting me. The 3 times XP, the AP, the 5+ max orbs. The one chest in multiplayer is really nice, but it really is a debatable thing to talk about. I think it's $3.99, right? $3.99. I feel like, because back in the day, I used to spend, I think, $1 to $2 to just get one unit to get 1.5 or additional XP. The fact that I only have to spend an extra dollar more to get everybody at 3 times XP, and it just looks really nice when you look at your units and you're like, oh wow, potentially I can max up anybody I want
Got it.
pretty quickly.
Okay, so I have one big problem with this.
What is he gonna make fun of my level hundreds?
No, no, not yours. Uh, when you're gonna go to an event and actually play where you want to use an event featured unit that's gonna have bonus XP and stuff, how do you find them?
Oh yeah, you read the list in the notes, bro.
Everybody's marked with flashing shit now.
Yeah, but I mean, I just read the notes. I know that Linnaeus is in there. And then we
Did you
also have
memorize it? Fuck
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's only a
Yeah,
few, man. Oh, you're fuck
no,
reading,
there's
right?
like
Who
there's
wants to
like 10
read these
units
days,
to
man?
memorize.
You know what I mean? I don't want to read.
Just saying out
But
there right
yeah,
now.
but it does stack with the event. So I think Lagrabro is getting 6 times the XP.
Yeah,
So just fucking nuts.
instantly more AP. Really
Yeah,
great.
really, really
Um,
good.
in general, like I expected them to charge far more and give way less.
Yeah,
I think this is a phenomenal
yeah,
like start to
yeah,
their pass system. Um, all these things for probably 95% of players is just massive quality
yeah,
of life across the board.
yeah.
For $4, like
Pretty
th-
nuts.
that's better than, if you pay like double that would be $8, which is basically what like the cheap step up is.
Yeah,
This is worth way more than doing a cheap step up
right.
for a unit.
And it's
Like
monthly, so
the amount of progression that you're going to get on your account for this is just huge. For me, I'm not going to get it just because I'm at a point where like my soul tanks don't matter, my soul spots don't matter, XPAP doesn't matter, chess and multiplayer and the max orbs. That just means that I need to manually play more so I have less FOMO for like me like not wanting to do much, but like I don't need anything that much, so it's not huge.
mhm,
The 5 orbs and the extra chest are the only like end game things necessarily for the people that have been around for a while. But what I'm hoping is that the feedback they get from this um, helps to go into other passes that cater more towards different sorts of demographics. So maybe we get a $10 or a $15 pass that actually has things like daily gem rewards,
mhm.
or maybe we get something that like leads into something else that's going to benefit endgame players. I don't know what it is. Um, Maybe they introduce some new currency that you can build up to eventually like pick a prism or something, and like if you get a thing, one of the login bonuses is like some of that currency, or they just have like a rainbow prism or something. um
Yeah,
so like I'm hoping that this sets the standard for like, hey, here's our base minimum for like if you're a super duper light spender, you just want to support the game and get a ton of value, here it is. You get all your value, bucks. You could do it once. Just having this for a single month that will supercharge your account.
yeah.
Like that's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
that you can
newer
get.
players, man. Imagine getting units up to 100 just for that 1,000. Getting up the older RSR and old SSR all have currency on them. So for a new player, this is stacked. You will get those arc ups so quickly. You'll be floating in gems. Another reason I thought it was a great idea was also for I do have multiplayer fodder accounts where I solely use them for gems to refresh the gates when I do need materials for when a new unit drops. If I were to put this pass on my fodder account, I'm getting 15 more, getting 5 more on the orange orbs. I'm also getting the bigger XP to get more crystals for more fodder. I mean, there's ways to use this pass that I found useful for myself. So it just really just depends on what you're going with. But for newer to mid players, this thing is phenomenal. In-game players, it really is. It just comes down to how your play style. Like if you're a casual, you only play every once in a while, then I definitely wouldn't recommend the pass at all. I know a lot of people were kind of really disappointed when we saw that there was no gem count on it or no crystals added to it. Honestly, even 50 gems a day would have been really nice to get, even if it meant meeting some kind of criteria, play an event, get 50 gems more, something like that. It was really disappointing to see that we didn't get anything like that. So maybe it'll get updated in the future now that it's here. I don't know. But I was
Yeah.
actually hoping to pay like 10. I mean, not hoping to pay, but I thought it was going to be like a 9.99 monthly pass, very similar to
I
like what
I
Dokkan
expected that
is.
too. I
Yeah,
would have expected these rewards, but at a $10 or $15 price tag.
right, right, right.
Um,
Um,
like I knew there wasn't going to be gems. When this came out, people were just like, "Oh, there's not even like free gems or something." Bro, like a year and a half ago, they said there's not going to be gems on our pass. They said
right.
it from the start. So like anybody expecting it, like you were delusional.
Yeah.
Um, but I know I was talking in the Discord and Barlene was jumping in and stuff, and I kind of talked about things that I did here where I hope this sets the principle, and then there's going to be things for different demographics. And Barlene basically said that's exactly what my plan is. He's
Hmm.
like, we like that is our plan. We want to gauge feedback from this, and then we want to release new types of things
Right.
that offer things that higher tier players are going to want.
Like an LC Pass Plus. Like that'd be really
Yeah,
cool. Like LC Pass Plus would have additional gems attached
be
to
like a
it.
premium plus or like whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck
You're
they
right.
do.
And it
Like I could see them even like because you see this type of stuff in other gotchas too.
yeah,
Like I could see there being like a $10 to $15 one that's like every day you get like 100 paid gems. That'll give you 3K paid gems roughly
that'd be
in a
so
month.
awesome. Yeah.
You know, which would be like it's good value compared to what they normally charge. You just have to wait over the course of a month. And there could be a different one that's like, oh, $30 a month, which people will pay. That's
Right.
like, oh yeah, you'll get like some gems or whatever, but maybe there's like a UR dust on it or something.
Right.
But like you're paying, 30 bucks a month to
Yeah.
basically get like that type of thing. And
Right.
that's like the last day of the login
That'd
bonus
be
or something. I
really
don't know.
cool if they did like even like 9.99 a month, and they did like one any one paid pool, the 100 paid pool a day for free.
Yeah. Which is
That'd be
basically what that would be. What
yeah.
I said of like
Right.
100 paid a day is you could do a daily summon every day.
Right. Which data summons are OP.
Um, Yeah. Either way, like that'd be
Yeah.
pretty good. What would be the coolest, I think, is if they basically did like the battle pass type thing, where like the more that you like either play multiplayer, maybe there's a multiplayer pass, so the more you play multiplayer, you gain XP
Mhm.
that fills up a bar, and then it'll expire in a month, and basically you go from like level 1 to 100, and along the line you'll get like resources you probably don't care about, but maybe like some summon tickets,
Yeah.
maybe some gems, maybe even prisms. So it's like, oh, this month there's a shift Lagrabos prism in the battle pass. So like I want to get it this month because
Right.
like there's a prism there for a specific unit that I want. Um, so like that could be a cool thing that they do as well, and for people to get excited about it.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, I'm eager to see what they do with it, but this was a pleasant surprise, and I thought it was great.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we one of my complaints as far as their monetization for a long time has been that like they do literally nothing to cater to the casual players like at all. Like if you're trying to spend money in this game, the best deal for light spenders is save and spend $100 on a UR banner.
Yeah.
$100. Like I guess the only other comparable thing is like the cheap step ups. You can spend $7 or $8, do a minor step up for like 15 pulls or whatever,
Right.
and it's like okay, cool, like that's neat.
Hmm.
But they haven't really done much for it. It's just like you either whale or you just see it doesn't really feel good
Yeah.
to spend. You don't get much for it, you know.
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
I,
this
I
is
I
really
agree.
good.
I agree 100%.
Mhm.
So yeah, like we said, we're talking about LC Pass, good for casual. And then I mean, not really good for in-game players, but for newer players, it's really good.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see something, better in the future, like the LC Pass Plus. But like Jared said, I didn't know that Barlene you were talking about, but he says that we're just kind of trying things out. That's really cool. But other than that, did you anything else you want to touch base on Lagrabos or the event? I think that's it's a lot going on, a lot of positive stuff. So I feel like we covered most of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah,
we're pretty good overall. Does anybody have any questions before we sign out of
yeah,
here?
definitely. Let me see.
Questions?
Did they see a tattoo?
I see. I thought we'd have missions unlocked by having the pass with some unique rewards. I could see that totally being a future thing for a different pass. For $4, I wouldn't have expected it, but I could see there being like a $10, $15 pass that gives you like challenges or achievements to complete, kind of like a battle pass. And then there's just specific rewards that you can unlock.
No, no, man. DK doesn't have a gobble at 110. No, man, I don't have a gobble at 110.
You're gonna gobble at 110.
No, man.
Take him from the guild. Take him from the guild.
Oh man, I was surprised you guys never caught that. So thanks for calling me out, man.
Jawline,
Appreciate that.
Jawline, the big question is
Hey,
S-Lag a must pull? Is S-Lag a must pull? Okay, so first of all, if you have Maja, he's far from like super desirable because like he will be better. Like odds are pretty high he's going to be like your best performing mage outside of like Linneus, who's been fully maximized.
Mhm.
Um, but like by comparison, you're not going to gain a significant amount by getting like him over Maja. If you already have him. If you don't have a good mage at all, it's very tempting to pull as long as you're okay with those summons going down the drain. Like don't ever spend more gems than you're willing to lose. But like if you want to gamble on it, as far as I could tell, he's super duper good. and
Yeah.
he's probably going to last for a long time.
He is. Yeah.
Just like Maja did. Maja came out about a year ago, roughly this time,
Just got him.
and he's still super relevant.
Yeah.
You know, even if Lagrabos power creeps him, Maja still power crept everything else in the game basically, and he still holds up today. So
Yeah.
like this type of mage is very very desirable and is very good. So highly recommend if you're a lazy gamer and you just started, it's a great time to re-roll because just like the things about Maja that was good, you could just full auto through probably 90% of the story mode.
Yeah. Seriously, Apocalypse
You
too, just
know,
clearing
like if you
everything.
just don't want to learn any mechanics, just like go in with Lagrabos, just like Maja, and they'll just do the work for you. Just level
Yeah.
up their board, give them a basic staff or something, and like, boop, they'll just do stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
That's
yeah, he's.
yeah.
I would say the. I mean, similar comparison was made before because you know Maja, but like Lennius is basically like Virgil, like takes a little more work to get like maximized, but like the overall potential is really really high, like the highest in slot for that type of unit. However, Lagrabos or Maja is like Shift Bayland. You basically can do whatever the fuck you want and they're going to perform at a super high level just innately because they're just incredible units. Like he comes with all the geysers or slayers in Balin's case, and like they just get so many boosts that like you can do whatever you want. You could make a really shitty build and they're going to do really well and
Mm.
just clap most content anyway. You know, which is just awesome. So yeah,
So, all right. I know you guys are asking, is did did S lag power creep S Bay? No, they're two different units, man.
oh yeah,
Balin will smoke anything before the magic even goes off, guys.
yeah. Think about it more so like Shift Lag is like the magic version of Shift Balin in a
Yes,
sense. Like
yes,
I would say that's a pretty apt comparison. That's
right,
the point.
right. But
So
they're two different units. Balin is going to be around for a long time doing his thing. He's
yeah,
not getting power crept anytime soon. At least I don't think he is. And
I
yeah,
hope
no, what?
I hope not.
I hope
I,
not. Right?
yeah, probably not. And
Adele,
I hope
for
I
something.
do not want them to power creep Balin. I
Yeah,
want him to be like Luxeus, where like for
yeah,
the following year,
yeah.
everybody ends up getting compared to him and nothing ever like fully exceeds. It's like, oh yeah, it's better in these niche cases, but like ultimately, like for the full package, we come back to this point. I think Shift Balin should be that standard for the next year of content. My personal opinion.
Right, right. And
So
you're right, Darius. Old man or OP and LC. You have
yes,
Grandis OP
this is
at
old man. So yeah,
experience. You have Balin OP at non-attribute. Yeah, no. Yeah. Why are the old guys, carrying this game? Um, but yeah, one thing I did say, why were there so many cheaters in the trials? We really don't know. That's actually the most we've ever seen. Honestly, there's gonna be trolls, there's gonna be cheaters, but one thing you gotta look up to is that Ada's did not like lock down on it. They probably didn't get.
there's like one left in the top 20 or top
Yeah, they didn't get
30,
them
something
all.
like that.
Yeah, they didn't get them all. At least
Yeah.
the assumptions were made that they were. I'm sure they ran some kind of check scan to see what programs were used. I'm sure they have that at their disposal.
Yeah.
But they did get rid of a good chunk, 20 plus. I was
Yeah.
in 40s and I got to the top 20s. So
It was definitely annoying that like their standard is they just wait until the end.
right.
So like people that are more uninformed, like it looks like the rankings are much harder than what they
Mhm.
actually are. When like in the top 30, I think like almost half of them were fake, or like almost half of them were getting deleted.
Right, right,
So it's
right.
just really, really frustrating to see and demoralizing for people competing in those events. So I'd like if eventually they can get to a point of nuking out some of those accounts, earlier. But
Mhm.
I don't know. On the flip side of that, the other disappointing thing is they finally got around to like trying to do. They announced that they had like some new system for like the shadow ban stuff that's going on
Mm.
or that's always gone on, and as it turned out, it didn't do a ton. It helped some people, but like there's still largely a problem with a ton of accounts that are shadow banned for seemingly no reason. People don't have any reasons whatsoever. They were banned from a long time ago from like using auto clickers before rankings were a thing and like anybody knew it was even a problem.
Right.
And like we expected a whole bunch of those, especially the veteran players that have stuck with the game for so long,
Mhm.
to be able to be like unbanned, to be able to rank in these events and get rewards for
Yeah.
working hard. And be part of that community excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's still a huge amount of people that are still having trouble, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
um like so many people that I interact with in Discord, there's a ton of people, like yeah, I don't know, I hate it, and ADIS needs to get their head out of the ass when it comes to that. Sorry, but
Right. No, I feel
it's
you.
bad, it's
Yeah,
frustrating, and I
it's a
don't
little
like it,
frustrating.
so they got to figure it out.
Right, right. Yeah, if I wasn't cut hacking, that would have been yeah, so talking about cheater, Elsie said if you won't cheat for some time, they will unshadow ban your account. Everyone kept saying release one guy. I wonder why Elsie not release account while others. Honestly, I really don't know, guys. I don't know how they're doing things.
Yeah,
We're
but
just kind of
my understanding is like apparently accounts that were banned somewhat more recently, like maybe in the last year and a half, due to whatever new things they had for banning people, they were more likely to be lifted. But the people that were around for a long time, banned for whatever reasons way
mhm,
back in the day,
yeah.
seem to not be getting as much love.
Mhm,
But it also seems like it's on like a one-on-one basis. Like they're not going through and being like, oh, all these accounts meet these parameters or whatever. Let's just blanket lift ban on all these. But it seems like they're going through and very slowly having some intern review every account and just like manually go and like approve some accounts or whatever. So it's just really, really slow. Um, yeah,
mm,
just not great.
yeah.
So annoying.
All
Hopefully
right.
they get good.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it looks like we're gonna be closing out the podcast for today. We do appreciate you guys all stopping by. And again, Throne, congratulations to everyone, and congratulations to all the top 10 people that did make the rankings. I had a lot of fun with the time trials. It was fun. I didn't have a lot of time to play
Yeah,
the
we
time
should
trials.
talk about the time trial
We
before
should.
we go.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah. We can. I tried. I didn't have a lot of time. I think I spent maybe 3 hours total trying to do it. A lot of RNG was in it. My job currently is not allowing me to play as much as I want to, so I definitely did put a shot into it. It's really interesting to see, after doing some testing for myself, that S. Lenius would be the primary mage for that time trial, and he performed really,
100%.
really
Yeah.
well, dude. I was really surprised considering that, he's not my absolute favorite mage, but he's definitely still good. He just takes a little time to work with. Um, but I know, did you get anywhere on the top? You got top 100 at least, right?
I wasn't as high as you. I didn't spend a ton of time. I kind of started it. I did like one clear just to say that I did it, and then I think in the last 2 days I actually tried
Yeah,
to
me
do a
same
bit
here.
better.
Same here.
Um, I realized pretty quickly that I was pretty hard gated. I was like 90% confident Shift Nero was absolutely a must-have for like the top 10,
hmm
which ended up being the case. And I was pretty confident that Lennius was up there too. As if he wasn't an auto include,
hmm
there was something really fishy probably going on, and he ended up being in the top teams as well, so that
hmm
didn't really surprise me. What I ended up hitting 504
Team
for mine. I was using um for a while I was using Lennius, Joker, and Crow. I ended up eliminating Crow
Pro.
and ended up
Interesting.
eliminating Crow to get Levi, and then ended up cutting off like 30 seconds, getting me down to that like 504.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Crow works surprisingly well just because there's a lot of flinch things, and I know a lot of people I've talked to had problems with like the Dragon Wave that came in, and some of the others where there's just a lot of flinch.
hmm
But the thing that's cool with the Persona units is all their abilities are stacking, so it doesn't matter how much you get flinched. You don't need like Theria making
hmm
you unflinching, things like that. You can just be constantly throwing skills. If you get flinched, you just throw more skills, and then things would just die pretty quickly.
Right.
Um, so yeah, Joker was a must-have for me, absolutely necessary. So I use like Lost debuff to get through the boss phases with Moonlit
Trish.
Murder. Yes, I did need
So my
Trish on.
Trish wasn't working. I don't
Well,
know why.
yeah,
I don't. There
okay.
was a lot of bugs for me. I had several crashes, several freezes. Trish was no longer working for me. I think my Joker was hitting because my original plan was Joker, Lennius, and Balin. Because of the whole loss buff thing, I thought it was a really great idea at the time. But for some crazy reason, he would not hit over 1,000 damage with Trish on. Um, and I even shared my strat in the Discord for anybody who wanted to like try it out with me, late at night, and they were watching my Joker with Trish do 1,000 damage to everything.
I
Uh,
remember you telling me about
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
don't know what was going on. I had to constantly reset my phone, and then the lag would absorb more time. So when it would freeze, it would just 5 seconds would just get added to my time without
Yeah,
anything happening. So it really was just a huge
yeah, that
problem
was
for
really
me
irritating.
on iOS. I know people a lot of people struggled on Android too.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
especially with Linus, like,
yeah,
the frames, even on my iPhone that normally has no problems, it chokes at multiple parts in that run just
yeah.
because of the chaos.
I
It's
actually got into like the really I actually cleared the first wave at 132, and then I got to the second wave and I got almost, I think it was like 3 something, and my phone crashed at the very end. And it was a really good RNG run, and nope, I couldn't get it again
yeah.
cuz yeah.
So, my biggest thing that I was so frustrated with is I was really tryharding the last day,
Yeah.
and, like I said, I got Levi ended up being a victory over Crow just because just mainly it just helped me to like eliminate Temptress as well as some of the other bosses' HP pools just quicker than Crow could. Crow basically couldn't do anything against Temptress due to like the dark, light, and neutral resist
Mhm.
that she has. So I previously was just using Lennius for DPS. So being able to have some extra stuff from Levi was helpful in that phase. Um, the problem was when I switched over, I basically had to put Trish onto Levi instead, and then I put my Nox bow or my Pluto bow back onto Joker. And the problem was I got to Virgil at 425. I just wanted to try hitting sub 5,
Mhm.
and I got to Virgil at 425, which was like miles better than anything else. I only need like 20 seconds to kill him,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
However, without Trish, I didn't realize that Virgil had a 90 dark res and the bow cutting it down to 70. I couldn't perform with Joker. Like with the lost debuff, I think I was hitting maybe 30 or 40k.
Mhm.
So I came up short every time, and like I kept restarting and trying to tweak and tinker my build, and like I couldn't quite get it, and I ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I ended up, just crashing at 504.
Yeah.
The coolest thing I found though, and I don't know if a lot of people found this because they just like, ape shit the boss anyway,
Yeah.
but the only way that my account was able to one phase round three, which was
Mhm.
the one where you need to kill the crystal and then
Mhm.
it auto breaks the boss.
Mhm.
Um, if you practice it, there is a brief period of time where when the boss breaks, they lose their debuff immunity as they transition into break. Because you can't use treacherous intent on that boss
Mhm.
normally
Mhm.
before you break it because it just nullifies the debuff and then you can't get loss.
Mhm.
So you could basically break him, apply the buff, and then the next time you break him, there will be loss. But I found that if you wait like roughly 2.5 seconds, depending on your RNG, and you cast it, when you cast it, if it hits exactly at the like split second that he gets broke, you
Mhm.
can trigger loss.
I know
Yeah,
Urizen, I couldn't get lost on
super
him.
cool.
I don't know what. People said they could get lost on Urizen. I couldn't. They kept saying miss every time. I don't know. That was weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's the one that
is
I'm
that the one
talking
talking
about.
about? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
wave 3. Yeah, wave
yeah.
3 where he's, like,
Oh,
sitting in
that's
the
right.
throne. Yeah,
Okay.
because his buffs when he's not broken is he's got debuff immunity. None of it works.
Gotcha.
Unless you break him, you can break him and then apply the debuff, and then the next time you break him, it'll turn into loss. But I'm saying when you kill the crystal, you wait a second or two, and then if you can get the timing exactly right,
Mhm.
you can apply the buff as he's getting broken, and then it'll flip to loss. So
Wow.
that's what I needed to do. My account, I could not figure out a way to one phase him without doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really cool. So I felt kind of,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
great.
happy
Yeah,
doing
but
that.
it's like the massive amount of bugs and stuff that wasn't working for me, and the freezes, and oh, and then one time, several times actually, not just one time, but multiple times that the enemies just wouldn't spawn. I think one went 6 7 seconds without a respawn. That
Oh
was just a
yeah, I
pain in
hate
the
it.
ass, man. I just had
Dude, it's
so
so
many
annoying.
problems, and I just like I think I was just more getting frustrated because I didn't have time to do this all day. And the little time that I did have to play, like I really had to just like, it really was based on RNG. My RNG on my phone, RNG on my, on the skills, the spawn times, on the breaks, on when I because I was using Nero, because my goal was to break everybody, including Temptress, right at the start, and then nuke with to avoid the special attack.
Mhm.
And then I would use the Linnaeus and his Hellfire victory or whatever to nuke.
Yeah.
Um, so
That
yeah.
was that was my other big miss is I don't have Hellfire and it hurts.
Oh yeah,
Hurts my soul.
yeah.
I also figured pretty quickly that like that would be really essential for top 10, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I can get up there with just
Right.
like the stock stuff.
Yeah, but
But
overall, it was fun. I look forward to the next one. I'll probably try and play a little bit more. But hopefully we're going into our slow season at work, so hopefully I get a little more time. I'm hoping they do another one anniversary. So that'll be a lot of fun. I like to shout out to my coach DK for my number one spot. You're welcome, man.
yeah, to throw in the chat. Yeah, he hit a killer time.
Yeah, it was really good.
There's a lot of really like almost everybody in like the top 30 for the most part are
Yeah,
people that I've seen from the community and like I kind of
yeah,
know, and it's just always so cool to see those names
yeah.
and some of the times they were able to hit. And
Yeah, it was really
yeah,
cool. Like,
from
was it Dr. Lucas who did really? I think right, he did really good. BCR came up out of nowhere too. It was really cool. It's really cool to see a lot of a lot of the people that got banned, or unbanned now, and they're able to compete. So that's really cool as well. Um, but yeah, overall, I love DMC. It didn't let me down again. It was great.
yeah.
Looking forward to.
Yeah, I think my only complaint, and like maybe it's not really well merited. I hope they don't stick with the no time stop. Like
Yeah.
I like that restriction,
Hmm.
but with how incredibly long this time trial was, it felt like this was a time where it wasn't necessary at all.
Right. Right.
Like they could have let us do time stop and it probably would have been okay for this one. But yeah, either way, it was still pretty cool. I would rank this time trial up near my top. Um, I really, really enjoyed how they structured it. There was a lot of unique challenges and problems to solve for just having one party. So yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park. I rank it up there with the Secret of Mana Redux. That was probably my favorite time trial.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. But guys, if you guys, it looks like we have no more questions. We're gonna go ahead and probably close out the podcast for the evening. But we try to do this every week. But if there's no content, of course, we will go ahead and ignore that week. But it looks like next week is just gonna be maybe an update on the event. And then the following week, they probably will be announcing some. Actually, I just read in the chat, October 9th is going to be the live stream for the anniversary. So that's really something to look forward to. I believe that is not this week. Oh, it's next Sunday? Really? Okay. So yeah, next Sunday will be the live stream. Yeah, I had a couple requests in here. They wanted to do a live stream, maybe do a reaction with me, maybe me, you, and Jawline, and a couple others. So we'll talk about that and see if we can get that rolling for you guys. We can all just kind of hang out and watch the magic happen and see what they offer us. Because I'm actually really looking forward to it because since I do have a lot of the arcs, I really look forward to the free pulls because that's going to refill my Crimson Orb and help me get a UR Dust because that's the only real way that I get them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Anniversaries really never let me down, especially the half anniversaries. They usually bring in about 2 units, and then who knows what happens? Maybe another collab after, right? Cool. But again, guys, thank you so much for all stopping by. I really appreciate you guys in the chat. If you guys have any questions after the podcast, please drop in the comments below. We'll go ahead and get to those questions pretty quickly here. But you guys have a great night. You guys be safe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye, everybody.